Good morning. Welcome to Facebook Live, live from my office. Not as glamorous as Dublin, but far warmer, and I've got a proper cup of tea. I'm just going to wait for a few of you to join in, but I wanted to show you something really cool that Facebook Live has introduced. And actually, this was here last week, but I wasn't going to show you when I was sitting in Dublin with all the people looking at me thinking I was weird. Right on the top right-hand side of the top left-hand side of the screen is this little magic button. And if I click that, I can add filters. So kind of this one. It's kind of cool, right? I can go all black and white and serious. This is a serious film. I can go to the country. So this is the country filter. I can go all punk and psychedelic. Or, and this is absolutely my favourite one, I don't think I'll be using it much, but I can go acid, which basically turns me into an alien from Star Trek. Now, I'm not 100% you can see all those as I'm doing them. If you can, that's awesome. If not, well. Right, so we had someone join in. I hope you're still there. I am risking it this week. I am risking it with my home internet connection. And I'm just wondering how that's going to work out. So if I go away, I will be back. So refresh the page if I go away, because I've got my mobile internet connection on hold here if anything happens. But I figured I'd try that because my mobile one's been letting me down a lot. Hey Sinead, how are you? And that's good because you can probably hear me. As you can see, I've got a time mic on today, and I tell you why. I wasn't happy with the sound on Facebook Lives in the past. And also there's builders. Well, they're not builders, they're council workers, I guess. They're making a footpath out the front of my house, which is great. We really need one, but it means it's a little bit noisy. So I know we've got some people online now, so let's have a look at my whiteboard. It's not as good a work of art as last week's. I have to say, my drawing skills have gone downhill. So you can guess what the big topic for today is going to be. It took me ages to draw that Instagram logo. Before I do, tell me what you're drinking, because I've got a mug I want to show you. It's kind of annoying because it's a left-handed mug. So this is the back. And I don't know if that's flipped around for you or if you can see it the right way round, because Facebook seems to change that around. Any Doctor Who fans there know what this could be? Well, I've told you now, haven't I? Would you like a jelly baby? It's a Doctor Who mug. Thanks, Sinead. It's a Doctor Who mug for Tom Baker, who is my favourite Doctor Who. I've got a nice cuppa in it. I hope you had time for your tea. This is actually my second cup of tea today because I really needed it. On to the social media news. So the big one this week, just when I thought there was going to be nothing for me to talk about, the big one this week is Instagram. You're having tea too, Sinead. Good. I had a lot of coffee yesterday, so that's why I went the tea route. It's Instagram versus Snapchat. If you haven't been on Instagram for a while, go update your app and have a look, because something has happened. When you go into Instagram, at the top of the screen, you'll see lots of stories from people that you follow. And this feature, if you're not a Snapchat user, is actually almost exactly the same as Snapchat. So what you do is you make short videos and you make short snaps and you put them together to tell a story, and they disappear within 24 hours. In fact, it's so much like Snapchat that when I went and tried it, it's like I didn't even need to learn how it worked. Everything just happened exactly the same way as Snapchat. Now I'm going to grab my little crib sheet here, my news. I feel like a proper news presenter when I've got this that I can be. And this happened in the news today. So firstly, flaming cheek. Imagine in your business if some competitor came along and just ripped off what you were doing. And I've been thinking about this, like Snapchat must have patents. Now, either Facebook is kind of working around those patents, so there's a few things they haven't got that might mean that they're not infringing on their patents. Or the other thing is that they don't care. They've got enough money that they can infringe patents and get sued, and it doesn't matter. So flaming cheek Facebook, and just in case you're wondering what I'm talking about, Facebook own Instagram, that's why I'm blaming Facebook. On the other hand, Facebook tried to buy Snapchat good few years ago now. I think they offered 3 billion. And the guy who runs Snapchat, who in the past has been just a little bit arrogant, turned him down flat and was kind of a bit rude about the whole thing. So since then, I think Facebook have really been, right, we're going to take Snapchat down. And they've tried a few things. So if you use the Messenger app, you'll know that you can add a photograph to the Messenger app and you can put scribble on it already. So you're already making kind of Snapchat type snaps. They've had a few experiments where they've tried disappearing messages. So for a while now, they have been after Snapchat. And I suppose this year, Snapchat's really taken off in a big way. Up until the beginning of this year, I would have said it was, you know, under 18s or early 20s that were using Snapchat. And now people as old as me are using it in droves and loving it. And there's this huge user base coming into Snapchat. It's been top of the App Store. It's been talked about everywhere. Marketers are looking at how you can use it. So I'd say if I was Facebook, I'd be going, this is a bit worrying. So we want to take that. We want to have some of that audience. And they're very worried about everyone leaving their properties and going over to Snapchat. So they come up with the competition. The thing is, just going to look at this, will it kill Snapchat? I don't think so. I think Snapchat and Instagram will always be very different for very different audiences. I know that some of the people I follow on Snapchat, I have no interest of following on Instagram. I like people who take good photos. And a lot of Snapchatters don't. A lot of Snapchatters are like, what I'm doing now, I'm not old, Sinead. That's so nice of you. Well, not yet. I reckon when I'm 70, I'll be old, but I'm going to stay young at heart. And also, this is good lighting. This is good lighting. So I don't think people are going to leave Snapchat. I use Snapchat for one reason. There's also a few things that you can get on Snapchat that you can't get on Instagram yet. For example, you can put cool stickers on, you can put filters for where you are at the moment, and Snapchat is innovating really fast at a ridiculous rate. So I actually think Snapchat will stay Snapchat, Instagram will stay Instagram. One of the other reasons I think Facebook may have done this is because they're running out of ad space. So many of us are using Facebook ads now that the ads that they can only run a certain number of ads in the newsfeed on Facebook, right? So I was having a conversation with a friend recently going, this is really worrying for small businesses because the more people that start using the advertising platform, they still only can show a certain number of ads to people. And that will bring me on to my second topic in a minute. So Facebook need to innovate the places they can put ads, or the price of ads is going to go so high that it's not going to be accessible for small businesses. So with the Instagram stories, that's a new space that they can start putting ads. Is that why they're doing it, or do they just hate Snapchat? Finally, I think they're worrying about losing all these people to Snapchat, and this is going to keep people on Facebook. So I think people who haven't investigated Snapchat yet will find Instagram stories, use Instagram stories, and be comfortable in that space without any need to go to Snapchat. Right, onto my wall, which I want to talk about. Hello, if you're here, do let me know. I can see Sinead's here. I can see someone else is here, but I don't know who you are. I'd love to give you a shout out. This is my wall. This is my new wall. I thought standing up was going to be a better way to do my Facebook Lives and have some energy. So I've got, hello, new person who's just arrived. I've got this wall. And you can see it's quite blank. I've got a few badges. But I think maybe it needs to be a bit more interesting. So I'd love to hear your suggestions of what you should... Hi Marion, thanks for joining in. I'd like your suggestions of what should go on this wall behind me. Bear in mind I can't put up like, you know, logos or intellectual property. I'd love to have a gigantic Doctor Who poster there, but I'm sure I'd be infringing on someone's copyright. So what should I put on the wall behind me? Hey Eleanor, thanks for joining in. Right, on to my next topic. Facebook Live. Now I'm not sure at the beginning when I was showing you the filters if that actually went live, but that's a cool new innovation from Facebook Live. I love it. You never know, one day I might actually go live as an alien. Or if I'm looking pretty rough, I'll definitely go the black and white route. But the thing about Facebook Live is that Facebook, and this ties into what I was saying about Snapchat, Facebook are looking at inserting ads into replays of Facebook Lives. So I'll be talking about whatever it is on my whiteboard, and then you'll get a commercial break. I know this will be a bit annoying, but also the really cool thing for people like me, if I get a lot more people viewing these in the future, is they're going to revenue share. So I'll say, I want Facebook ads in my live stream. They'll put them in the live stream, and when they make money out of it, I'll get some of it. So, kind of liking that idea. I know it's going to interrupt my wonderful performance, but it'd be nice to get a bit of cash on the side, like you do for YouTube videos. It's only a few pence, but it's great when I get it. Before loads of stuff happened last night, I had quite a rubbish board, and then I had to add bits in. This, can you see this really, really bad drawing? That represents conversation. And it's something I've talked about a lot on my blog and on my weekly videos before, having conversations on Twitter. And I keep going on and on about how people aren't having conversations and how hard it is to get into a conversation. And the same with Instagram. And something happened this week, and I don't know if it's just me and my persistence, or if suddenly people are more talkative, because I have been having wonderful conversations on Twitter this week and also Instagram. And I think it's such a shame that on Instagram so many people use automated software and leave those comments that say remarkable profile or thumbs up or love this, when there's real conversations to be had. And you know, every time I get into a conversation on Instagram, I get new followers. So it's definitely worth pursuing that. If you aren't actively going out there trying to talk to people, give it a shot. You'll be surprised at the great results that can get. This is my teacup. It was an afterthought. I forgot to draw it. Okay, on to my next topic, which that's supposed to be an RSS symbol, which I drew really badly. But I want to talk about blogging challenges, because I'm in the middle of a blogging challenge that I'm doing. I'm in Ian Cleary's Razor Blazers community because I want to keep my skills, refreshed, and I want to get better at what I do. And he set the group a blogging challenge this month. Those bots on Instagram, I know, Sinead, they're really annoying. So he said as a blogging challenge to write a blog post, and he gave us different sorts of blog posts we could write to get the most shares possible. So I did the influencer post, and I'll link to the post I wrote about that in case you haven't seen it underneath. And I've had amazing results, and not just amazing results on that. The 2 blog posts I posted since have also done really, really well. I was looking this morning, we've got over 500 views on that post, which isn't as good as some of the people in the blogging challenge, but it is hard to compete for space, say, on Google with all the other digital marketers in the world. So 500 views, and I've got around, I think, 350 shares yet. My goal is to get to 400. So if you haven't shared it yet, I'm going to leave a link underneath. I'd love it if you could give me a share. All shares count. Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, anywhere on social media, or LinkedIn. Always forget LinkedIn, Google Plus, it all helps. But what that's done, that's really made me think more strategically about blogging. So this week, Darren Rose over in ProBlogger launched a 7-day blogging challenge. And each day of the week, he gives you a blog post type that you should write. And then you go to his Facebook group and you leave a link on the post of the day. And you know what? I've only done one of these because I have work to do. I have other blogs to do. But I'd only done one of these. I went and posted it in the group, and I found other blog posts there that were amazing. I found new bloggers to connect to. And I got a whole load of comments. People were actually reading my blog post and commenting on it. It was amazing. I wish I had time to do all 7 challenges because I really feel like I'm a bit of a community. So you can start today. You don't have to have started on day 1. Today's blog post is Tell a Story. I'm about to listen to his short podcast that tells us what to do. Go over, find the ProBlogger 7-day challenge group and join in. It's amazing. If you haven't blogged yet, this is your opportunity. You don't need to set up a blog. You could do it on LinkedIn. You could set up Facebook Notes to write these blog posts. It's a great opportunity to kickstart what you're doing. And that's on, if you want to check more, ProBlogger. And it's Darren Rose there, who has an amazing podcast. I was going to talk about the Olympics. If you're looking for content for the next 10 days on your blog, If you can tie anything into the Olympics, do. It's a great way to get more traction on what you're doing. If you were listening last week, you'll know what I'm going to say. Be very, very careful, because the Olympics have said that they're going to crack down on anyone that uses any of their intellectual property. So I was even a little bit nervous putting those 5 rings on my thing. So be careful. Don't go in and say that you're associated with the Olympics anyway. Don't say that this is an Olympic blog post, but if you can tie it into a particular event that's happening, or somebody we know, our boxers are going to do really well in Ireland, so if you can tie it into somebody who wins a medal, watch Katie Taylor, find some angle you can put on that. That should generate you some extra reach on Facebook. It would get you more on your blog. And you can't wait till the blog-centric blogging challenge. Thanks, Sinead. I should have to think one up. So give that a go. This little flower is all about my favourite tool of the week. And every week I try and find something new to share with you, but it's only if I find it mind-blowingly brilliant. And this one is. You need to be using self-hosted WordPress to use it. It's called Pretty Links. And Pretty Links is a plugin that you add. And you know, like if you listen to my blog or if you watch this, very often I'll go follow the link bit.ly.com/something or other. Now they're really great if you want to measure something, but in some cases I just want to say this is the shortcut to find this blog post or to find my show notes, my podcast. And if I tried to say it's spiderworking.com/blah, blah, 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 you wouldn't be able to write it down. You definitely wouldn't be able to remember it. So what Pretty Links does, instead of having bit.ly.com/whatever you want to say, you can make it your own domain name. So I can have, and I have one coming up in a little while, spiderworking.com/something. You're using Pretty Links, are you, Sinead? They're so brilliant. Oops. Okay. It wouldn't be a Facebook Live unless I dropped something. I dropped something. So this is one I made earlier. Is this flipped around the wrong way? It is for me. And also I scraped some of it off with my iPad. So this is one I made that will bring you to my newsletter sign up, spiderworking.com/social snacks. Really handy, a lot easier than me saying bit.ly.com/social snacks letter, which I think is what I had before. 2 more topics to cover. It's telling me my connection is weak, so I hope you can still see me. This is a Tweety bird. It's probably the tiniest and the worst ever Twitter logo I've drawn. I had to draw it in this morning because there's a bit of news as far as Twitter advertising goes. If you're using Twitter advertising, or if you've listened to me whinge about it, you might think it's rubbish. I think it's rubbish. It really annoys me. I find the interface, backwards. Why is it going backwards? I find the interface really clunky. It takes ages for me to load images onto my tweets. Oh, it's like one of those things I hate doing. Sometimes I have to do it. But they haven't fixed that yet. But the advertising that they've just launched, they've launched another card, which is kind of a thing that appears. It's like an advertising unit where people have to retweet that card in order to unlock something. So it could be a free download, or to watch a trailer for a film is what they're saying, or it could be I don't know, something free that you're giving people, which is kind of cool because it is hard to get interaction on Twitter ads. I've seen a few that have worked, but very rarely will people just scroll past them. They don't interact, they don't want to interact with an ad. So it's a nice ad unit, but it makes me think, if I want to give something to someone for free, I want more than a retweet. I want people to sign up to my newsletter. So whatever I'm going to give them for free, it is just going to be an exclusive view of a video. It's not going to be something concrete or that cool. However, it's the first innovation in Twitter advertising in a long time. So hopefully they're going to fix the rest. Okay, on to my last topic. And this made the news on the radio today. I had to put 2 Facebooks on here. See, Facebook Live and Facebook. Because Facebook have made an algorithm change. And for once, it's actually quite good. What they've done is, in the past, they've started cracking down on clickbait headlines. So very often you'll see there's some newspapers and some publications that are very, very bad at this. They'll put up something and they'll have like a clickbait headline that says, and you'll never guess what happens there yet. And you know these headlines I'm talking about, and they're really annoying. Which celebrity did this? Because you click it and you go through and the link at the other end is rubbish, or it's got no real relevance to the thing that made you click. That's clickbait, and clickbait is bad, really annoys people. It annoys me. It annoys everyone. And the thing is, those are getting great reach because loads of people are clicking them. So Facebook is going, oh, this is a popular story. So they were pushing them out to more people. So hardworking bloggers like me and you weren't getting our stuff seen when they were. So Facebook's made another algorithm change to crack down on clickbait even more. But it's the way that they've done this that is interesting. They haven't just got a computer and they're going, right, computer, algorithm, figure out what's clickbait, because that's what they've been doing in the past. They got human beings, lots and lots and lots of human beings who cross-checked with each other to identify clickbait headlines. And then they found the common phrases that were used in this. And apparently this is going to be an ongoing process where they learn. And then they put this information into their machine to identify clickbait headlines. Really interesting approach. Now, we are going to have to be really careful with our language when we share, because even though the humans identify the clickbait headlines, if we accidentally use a phrase that might often get used in clickbait headlines, we're going to see a decrease in our reach too. I just think the way they did it's really interesting. And finally, if you are using a lot of clickbait headlines, if you do find your reach getting pulled back because of that, the good news is that they say, when you stop sharing clickbait headlines, your reach will go back up again. And one bit of good news about the Facebook algorithm, I did a post on it this week after doing the Facebook Live last week. And somebody mentioned in one of the Facebook groups that their reach has actually gone up in the last month. Where most of us have seen a decline, they've gone up. And I went and had a look at his page, and he was getting 18 shares per post. So the nice thing is that the last algorithm change was all about shares. So unless your posts are getting shared, they're not going to show them to many people in the future. This guy was getting shares, he'd had a declining reach with everyone else, but now all of a sudden his hard work is paying off because people love his content, they share his content, and his reach has gone up. So there is good news for good Facebook marketers. Don't forget, on this week, my newsletter will go out. If you would like to get it, I'm going to be talking about language and the way that we frame our posts on social media and giving you some tips for that. It's also a book review and a few other cool things that I'll share with you. This is the link to follow, which is backwards. So I hope you're good at backwards reading. spiderworking.com/social snacks. Or if you're on my Facebook page, there's a sign up button. You can click that sign up button and it'll bring you to that sign up page as well. Looks like I've just finished before my voice is going to go. Don't forget to put this date in your diary. Next Friday, 9:30 a.m. I should be in my office again, but you never know. If there's somebody here, I'm going to go into the local square and show you some of the history of a thigh. 9:30 a.m. next week. Put it in your phone. I'll be putting out a link, an event again if you want to RSVP there. Thanks for joining me. Thanks, Sinead, Marion, Eleanor, and I can see there's loads of you online now.